Pandas, pandas, pandas. Good morning, my pandas. Welcome to the stream. I'm Baba Money. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. TGIM. Thank God it's Monday, and you are watching the most profitable, verified trader on YouTube, at least for now. As you can see in the top left of your screen, my account balance is above the original account balance by $500. $500. I know you think you might be hearing wrong, but yes, I'm up $500, and I am officially profitable. So welcome, lucky you that you get to watch the stream. Welcome. I'm of course being sarcastic here. I'm appreciative that you guys are all joined and coming onto the stream. The best community on YouTube for sure. Day trading like a predator. Indie scalper. Good morning, Hugh. Good morning. Heart attack. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Frank Angelo. Good morning, Rosales. Good morning, Dante. Good morning. Make sure you guys scalp that like button. Drop a GM in the chat. And today is the last day for 50% off resets. And I'll tell you this: on Wednesday we have some big news. We have CPI numbers. And so if you're one of these news traders that like to pass evals on news, and if you're not, you can ignore this, but if you like to pass your evals within one trade, but realizing it is a gamble, but you're okay with it because, man, 50% resets, super cheap, and you're okay with that, Wednesday, I think, is a day to attempt it. And, yeah, you got CPI numbers on Wednesday. I think that's the only news upcoming until then. Compared to last week, this is like almost no news. But we have big news on Wednesday, big news on Thursday as well, core PPI. Both of these numbers are very, very telling for inflation. So that's going to help the Fed decide what they're going to do next. You know, like Jerome Powell always says, he's data dependent. And so depending on these numbers, let's say inflation is still super high. What do you do? You know, what is the Fed going to do? They're going to try to either pause. You know, that's usually, I mean, I think that's like what's basically in question right now. Will the Fed pause, or will the Fed continue to raise interest rates? I think most people think it's a pause just because of the language that you've been hearing from Jerome Powell, and also the trend of inflation has been going downwards. So you're thinking that they may just pause, just hold their finger here for a while and see what happens, but that's at least as much as I can deduce from what I've been hearing. But you know, I don't think the question is like, are they going to lower interest rates? I don't think that's in question. I think really it's either pause or raise. And so these inflation numbers are more important than ever. And also, I would say even unemployment numbers are important, because, you know, if unemployment numbers are high, are low, unemployment numbers are high, which means a lot of people have jobs. It actually gives them more incentive to continue to raise interest rates, because right, this labor market is too strong. We have more, the economy is too strong. We have more room to raise interest rates. So, you know, with a combination of things, who knows? At least that's what I've been gathering from my little panda brain on the YouTubes. All my financial education, economic education comes from YouTube, so, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, you can also use some reasonability, some discernment to say, okay, that's reasonable, that makes sense. And so that's what I like to try to gather. I like to, for me, I like to thresh out what I think makes sense. But yeah. Good morning, everybody. TGIM, thank God it's Monday. We love saying that here because we love Mondays more than Fridays, because Fridays means that no more time with the best community on YouTube, and we get to no longer do what we love most, which is trading futures. Welcome to the stream. I'm Baba Money. Let's do some pre-market analysis. Hope everyone's doing well. How do you think the recent regional bank failures are going to contribute? Sorry if that is a heavy question. I mean, I don't know how you can't cause more inflation by helping regional banks. I really don't know how you can't help them. I really don't like the fact that it basically creates what's it called? um, darn, what's the phrase called? It basically is a hazard. Wait, what's it called? Something hazard. Um, it basically makes it so banks now can say, hey, we can, there's a track history of the government helping degenerate banks, basically putting it all in whatever bonds and just not mitigating risk. And they took that gamble and they paid. They're getting hurt by it. I guess they, in a sense, they did lose the banks. It got bought out, but at the end, the customer does get saved. So, um, the banks, they can just gamble it all away and in their own way, in their own banking way. But in terms of inflation, I just don't know how it can affect it. We have a weird thing going on here because we have as you all know, I hate this pattern. I truly hate expanding patterns. And this is what we have. We have a higher high and lower lows. So we got a high here and a lower low, where we broke this low. We have a higher high. This high broke this high. And this low broke this low. So we're getting this expanding pattern right now in the emini. And these are the worst patterns. I think it just means the market is super confused. And anything can happen. The reason why I hate these patterns is because since expanding patterns, every pattern has more likely to be a continuation. Even reversal patterns have more probability to do continuation. I'm not sure how far the continuation would go, but most likely continuation rather than reversal. And what we have here potentially is a expanding pattern where we're looking for basically it's a type of flag. In a sense, it is consolidating because you're going in a range. And sooner or later it's going to break out either side. And so the idea is it's going to break out to the upside with a measure move. But the problem is, since it's expanding, it's really hard to tell if it's going to be a breakout or if it's just a strong bull leg inside a trading range. That's why I hate them. It's the most confusing out of all of them. I think it's more confusing than trading range themselves. It's an expanding pattern. So we have expanding pattern and we are, en route to hit the top of it, which is also top of the trading range, and also maybe potentially finally filling this gap from last year. There's a gap here. I drew with the blue line, as you can see. It's a horizontal ray, which only extends to the right, which is very important. I think I wouldn't know what to do without this tool. You need it if you don't have it. It's for free on the website at www.twoleggedpullback.com. Go to free download section, and you can find this horizontal ray tool. And I will highly recommend you to have it. It's better than the horizontal line tool because you want to know exactly where you drew your line, where you're beginning, and what pivot is causing you to draw these lines. And I want to have them on my charts. If you do the horizontal line chart, it's going to have the line go way to the left as well. And you just can't tell, why did I draw this line? And so this is so much better. Big Mama today, 100% Big Mama is in play here, especially with the daily chart looking like this strong bull bar, and you're looking to go a little bit higher. And there is enough room to get to the top of this trading range on the daily chart. 10,000 tick chart, just a super strong uptrend. Let's see if I can capture this uptrend with a trend line. It's such an awkward looking uptrend. What can I say? It's so awkward looking. It looks very strange. Break a trend, new high, but then continues up. Now maybe a spike in channel? Really hard to say. Really hard to say what's going on here. It just looks very awkward. It looks very awkward to me, and I'm not entirely sure how to draw this trend line. Not entirely sure. And that's okay. It just means I'm very confused. And recognizing you're very confused is actually more helpful than you think when it comes to trading. Helps you stay on your toes, stay on your toes and not make any strong premises without more evidence. But I'll tell you this one thing for sure. I'm thinking Big Mama here. Big Mama, come to Papa. Market's about to open in 4 minutes. I mean, 10,000 tick chart still uptrend. I mean, we could have a reversal here. Honestly, we could reverse this entire move up from Friday. I wouldn't be surprised. We could have a downtrend day today. It could just be a big trading range day and just basically undo all of this. That could happen. I mean, with this price action, really anything can happen. You can tell that it has happened already. Huge move down, and then a pretty strong move down, and then the next day it just reverses completely. So it has happened. I would say though, yeah, look at the strong bear bar followed by bear bar, strong bull bar, followed by bull bar, little teeny hammer here, and then just reverses just as strong as it went up. It went even stronger downwards, as you can see, with a new low, or breaking the previous pivot low here. So you got this expanding pattern happening, and it's just terrible. With that being said, I'm still interested in Big Mama. Big Mama looks good here. By the way, over the weekend, yours truly spent hours, I mean literal hours over the weekend trying to produce a Big Mama video for you guys. And the problem is there are some difficulties that happen. Okay, well, let me just say this. There is a way to test an entire year's worth of contracts. It's not the prettiest way, but there is a way to do it. And so, and that's what you want to do when you want to do, when you want to back test something. You want to do, at least in my opinion, a year's worth of back testing. And if your automated strategy can't stand the test of time for 1 year, then I would consider it to be at least at best a seasonal automated strategy. If you have an automated strategy that can work all year round and is profitable from 1 year to the next, you know that it has passed through all 4 seasons, and that at least in 1 year can show that, hey, no matter what the season is, it can be profitable. And that's why I worked hard to make sure I did 1 year of back testing. And it's not as hard as you think, but it's not as easy as you think, because there's a lot of challenges that come along the way. If you don't know automated strategies, like, you know, you're testing it at max speed, and sometimes there's like little hiccups, like it'll miss a trade, maybe like it'll miss like a trade, a standing order, and it doesn't get filled sometimes, or gets filled weird. And that's just kind of like just comes along the territory when you do max speed trading on market replay. The resolution of each candle is just not that good. So there's a couple of challenges that, like, sometimes the automated strategy just shuts off. And when you do a year of testing, you're not like staring at the charts the entire time and monitoring that. I'm monitoring it every couple of hours, but you miss it. You miss like an hour's worth of testing because of that, and then you kind of have to restart it. And the problem with restarting is you lose like your cumulative P&L. So you kind of have to like construct the P&L yourself. And it is what it is. But there's a lot of challenges when it comes with it, and so the video is not going to come out as soon as I wanted to. It's going to be a little harder than I thought, but at the same time, I'm working diligently to it. So hey, maybe, hopefully this week we can get that Big Mama video. But I'll just tell you this, the results are fascinating. The results are absolutely fascinating, and I think it's something I'm very proud of for my couple years of trading, that I've discovered my own personal strategy, albeit very stupid. But hey, if it works, it works. I don't care how dumb it is. I don't care if it means you have to spin around your chair 5 times and do a cartwheel, and every time you do that you have like a 90% probability to get a trade. If that's the case, I'll do that every time. I don't care how dumb it is, but hey, if it works, it works, and that's all I care about. Market just opened, Panis. Looking for Big Mama here. Good morning, everybody. Make sure you scalp that like button. Thanks for joining. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend. Hope your mental capital is restored. 5-minute chart. Let's see, we got a big gap. Actually, the gap is very small. We have a small gap here on the 5-minute. Most likely we'll fill it because we're so close. Notice we have a big gap here in the market open, and it is what it is. It's just a big gap, which means that we may fill it. We did fill that gap a long time ago right over here. We did so much hard work to fill the gap. And guess what? We just made a bigger gap, right? This gap is bigger than this gap, which makes it feel like it's actually, bouncing off of that area could be a strong move up. Try to fill that gap on the 5-minute chart. Let me just hold it there until we do fill the gap. My order here right now is a big mama order. Just waiting for this candle to finish, or just waiting for it to trigger. Gap has not been filled yet. Missed it by 2 ticks, looks like. 1 tick actually. Is that 1 tick or 2 ticks? 2 ticks. Okay, fill the gap. You can see now the close of this bar on the 5-minute chart on the regular trading hours has been filled, has been touched. Previous day's close may act as a magnet here. What am I looking for? Let's go mini spike in channel here. H4 setup. About to trigger here, but can't go long here underneath the 20 MA. Hey everybody, hope everyone's doing well. I have back tested Big Mama for a year. Yes, I have. It's just not. It's not ready for. It's not video ready. It's kind of hard to make a video of it. I'm trying to think of how to assemble it because because the year's so long, it's a little difficult sometimes. So I may have to break up the video. I want to do a year. I wanted to post a year long's worth of trading with it, and I may have to break it down to the contracts. So we'll see. It's just not feasible. Unfortunately, it doesn't look as cool, right? Because you get this, you can have this huge P&L for a year of trading, but last week was a bit wild. I'm curious how you guys did last week, so I'm putting a poll up. There was news every single day last week, which was insane. But even with the news every single day last week, it wasn't like a fun or clear market, to be honest. And so I'm curious to see how you guys did last week. Like, how would you rate your trading last week?
Five-minute trap.
Big Mama won't even trigger today. Who knows? So incredibly slow right now. We don't have any news today. We don't have news until Wednesday. So if you guys are worried about that, at least from what I see from Forex Factory, there is no high impact news until Wednesday, and the Wednesday news could be quite large. It will be at 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday, and it's good to know that because we have 50% off resets. So if you want any type of, you know, that's a nice thing. If you have like a bunch stocked up from, let's say like you had a bunch stocked up from the 90% off code, and then you decided to like crank them, and on news you try to trade them, and let's say you busted like 5 accounts. Now those accounts are busted, but they're still there. And now what you can do is you can reset those 5 accounts for half the price, which is probably cheaper than even at least 80% off most of the, and even 90% off most of the accounts. So actually half off resets if you have a bunch stored up, like stocked up, because if you had failed a couple of them, that's why the 50% off reset is nice. It's kind of the pattern that I've been seeing with Apex. They've been doing like the promo, and after the promo, they'll do like a week of 50% off resets. And the nice thing is that we have big news on Wednesday. Wednesday and Thursday, I think, are big news items. You got core CPI and PPI numbers, and those typically have high impact, especially in a market that's very sensitive to inflation. When you have inflation news, it's important, I think. At least that makes sense to me. So you got this breakout trend. This breakout trend is its own little downtrend, so you may need a new low before really looking for an uptrend here to break the high here. And we'll wait around. We'll have to see here. This makes this Big Mama a little less certain, because by the time it comes back up here, it will be a breakout trend to new high. Ooh, could be a little tricky. Could be a little tricky to take it. Just looking at the immediate price action, could be a little tricky. Kyle Luber says, I dislike when the ES and NQ are doing opposite things. Yeah. You know why? Because that means the market's confused. Some of the equities inside in Nasdaq are also in the S&P 500. And so it's a little odd if one is going up and the other's going down. It should pretty much be going the same direction at least. We got a trap trade here, not interested. The reason being is I see a small downtrend here that may need another test of the low. So I'm gonna let it be. A little too confusing for me. But the risk is very small. It's a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio if you take the trap, which is pretty nice for a trap. The risk reward ratio may change here. Micro double bottom looks like. Okay, no longer micro double bottom. Okay, trap does trigger. So thoughts and prayers to those who went short here, but also thoughts and prayers to those who are going long here. Unsure what's going to happen. Like I mentioned, we may need a new low, and also it didn't touch the key area, which is typically a magnet, which is the previous day's close. I wanted to see that touched and bounce off of. Lower high, second entry short. Actually, those who took this short are still safe. You can tell here that we have not broken this signal bar, which means that your stop loss still has not yet been hit. Now we have a lower high second entry short, which may look for the new low here, which I actually like this trade. But now at this point, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 overlapping bars of chop going in and out of the 20 EMA, making this trade difficult if you're to go short here. but it's basically a short trade after a micro triple top, which increases your chances. Doesn't It's not guaranteed, but increases your chances. You can get a nice little scalp here. Okay, it does trigger that second entry short. Could convert to a second entry long here. So thoughts and prayers to those who went long here. You just got stopped out. Those who went short here, you're actually still okay. And if this reverses, this could be a nice push up, a second entry long. But again, it's too choppy. It's about 5 bars of chop now. And I'm sitting on my pause here. I'm glad I'm not in any of these trades right now. It looks okay for a short
5-minute
trade.
trap.
Especially when the bar looks bearish like that. Potentially nice short trade. Sitting on my pause though. Looking for that new low. The reason I couldn't take it again is because too much overlap. 4 bars of overlap. Doji bars. Also coming out in and out of the 20 MA. Hard to take that. Even if it works out, it's not a trade I like. It's not one I love, let's say. I don't love it. Now we're getting a second entry long here triggering. And you still haven't made a scalp yet to the downside. So overall, just very tricky, very choppy. Happy I'm sitting on my pause. Okay. I may decide to take a trap trade here if it does trap. That's probably the most interesting trade so far if I were to take this trade. Trap trade to the downside. Looking for a new low. The problem is the new low barely has enough room to scalp out. Barely enough room to a potential strong support here. 240 SMA and also the previous day's close. It's just not enough room to the support, potential support levels here. Ooh, makes it tricky. Makes it tricky for me. Does trigger the trap to downside. Just not enough room to make a scalp, but good reason to go short here in my opinion. I think it's a decent trade to go short. You can come up with a retracement at this point as well. Good retracement now. Very good retracement now. Maybe I'll come with a retracement. Yeah, I think I missed my chance. I'm gonna let this one go. Could have came with a small retrace, like a retracement, so it was only a 1-point risk. But the reason again I didn't like is because there's not enough room to the support levels here, and I don't like trading into levels where there's not enough room. Eventually this second entry short does work out for you with a micro triple top. Very scary to hold it through this, but it does work out. And if you're okay losing this original stop loss, which is only, 2.5 points of risk, then you're fine. You're fine. Maybe bouncing off the 240 SMA here. Potentially think it wants to keep going lower.
5-minute trap.
We'll see. Okay, it does go lower. It does almost test the previous day's close. It does test the previous day's close, touches it finally. And now we've made that new low. I am looking for a long trade now, believe it or not. Looking for a nice long trade. Now I want to see this trap. See, this trap was premature. If we take this trap, you got to recognize that you have this small downtrend here. Though it's a break of trend, it's you're expecting a new high sooner or later. The problem is that this downtrend, this break of trend is like 2 legs down. And it kind of looks like a downtrend. I don't know how else to really describe it other than it looks stronger. It looks strong enough to create a new low, create its own trend. And I know that's a cop-out because it's kind of based on intuition, but that's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. And that's what it did. Pandas. Just passed my eval to PA, the 50K. Let's go, baby. Congratulations. 5 more to go. 2 of them are only $20 away. Goodness. $20 away. Yikes. That is so close. Congratulations, though. Decent push down now. H4 setup. Could be a downtrend now. We may not hit Big Mama today. We may reverse all of the uptrend that we made on Friday. It could be quite possible. I've seen it happen many, many times. When you have an uptrend like this, where there's basically no levels of support, you can crash through this very easily. Sorry, it's my private helicopter going out for a test run. If you hear it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen here. The question is, when do we start converting to the fact that instead of looking for a new high, it's going to be the double top attempt. Instead of looking for that, when do we say that, hey, there's actually a decent downtrend and we are just rocking and rolling and we're going to look for a lot of short trades here? When do we convert from that to that? It's a good question. Typically, if it goes down where it should have reversed, continues to go down, then that's kind of when you start to change your mind. Very strong move down though. At the end, this trap was good, just didn't like the fact we didn't have enough room, and you can see where people took their profits at the previous day's close. Strong bear bar down to it, and then it just reverses about 2.5 points and then reverses back down. So it's just this is where I think people did take their profits, ultimately taking your runner out as well. Make sure you guys scalp that like button. Pushing down no entries. Strong bear bars on a 10,000 tick chart. 3 strong bear bars in a row. Maybe looking for a new low here. Who knows? 5-minute chart. First couple bars. Consolidation and then push down. 4 pushes down on the 5-minute chart. I can bank maybe on downtrend day today. Tough to say, really. I mean, I can say right now we are in a downtrend. Lower highs, lower lows. It's unfortunate. We may not hit Big Mama today. Kind of interested in a second entry short, but man, we could be bouncing off this pivot low, making a range day today. Could be possible. Really hard to say. I need more information. Huh. Okay, coming back to the 20 MA. Wow. Oh, wow. Very interesting. I have no idea what's happening. Kellyanne in the house. Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. Bernard, welcome. Turtle Toes, welcome, welcome. Okay, first entries here. All first entries, as you can see. Second entry short, pandas. Would you take it? A lot of you guys said you did okay. That means either you're little red, little green, or flat last week. That's what I would consider okay. Getting my poll queued up. Would you take this second entry short, pandas? A, B, C in this downtrend right now, but if you look to the left, you may be at the bottom of a trading range. Could be very possible being a trading range of some sort like this. And what evidence do you have? Well, you just see how the price action. That's the evidence. We may not even get our second entry short. This is almost relieving because this is a confusing spot. If we're like below this range, potential breakdown of it, then maybe. But if we're like right into it, it's hard to take the second entry short in my opinion. A little more difficult, at least, I think. Let's see if we get the second entry short though. Banter Deegan says, can you fill in the new folks on what a big mama is, please? Ooh, when it happens, it happens. And I'll talk about it then, but you gotta keep watching. What can I say? It's our proprietary setup on this channel, and everyone knows in this channel, hey, what's the number one rule of this channel? What's the number one rule of Fight Club? It's the same rule of Fight Club. No one talks about it. But when it happens, it'll happen, and it's gonna be amazing. Ooh. Ooh. Second entry short. Second pullback. Where you at? Second pullback. Pandas, will you take the second entry short here? Bouncing right off potentially the bottom of this trading range. Will you take the second entry short here? Is the question. Or would you take the fail second entry short thinking this is a bounce? Hard to take both because you're underneath the 20 MA and also this trend line potentially, at least in this spot. It would have to be a pretty strong push up. It would have to be like up here or something like that. And then the second, second entry short triggers, bounces off the 20 MA, something like that along those lines. But either way, you have to anticipate your trade. Okay, second entry short may look nice here coming off our trend line and also the 20 MA. just maybe bouncing off the bottom of a trading range. You can see what the previous pivot was. That's the dilemma right now. Are we going to treat this like a trading range as we see it? Or are we going to trade this current downtrend for a second entry short? Which one will it be? This is the $1 million question, I guess. Pandas, hope everyone's doing well. A lot of you guys are saying no. 53% of you guys saying no. 56% saying no now. On a second entry short on a downtrend, potentially off the 20 EMA, also off our trend line. Most of you guys are saying no to that. Amazing. Interesting. Interesting. I almost want to do the opposite of what the poll says. Because you guys are usually wrong. Ooh, okay. It's looking ugly right now. It's looking quite ugly. It's not a good signal bar. Actually, it's not a good looking signal bar. Even though it's a bearish bar, it's not a good looking signal bar. Basically because it basically overlaps the previous bar, can create a trading range. But I almost want to just take it. Second entry short does trigger. Let's see if it makes a scalp. And oh, now 47% of you say yes. So now that means I can't take it because you guys are usually wrong. So tricky. It's a decent looking signal bar on its own, but where it's at, it's not good. Yikes. If you're going short here, this is not what you want to see. Even though you're still safe, it's not what you want to see. Your signal bar is up here. Your stop loss is up here. If you would take this short. Very small risk. Very little risk, though, for a scalp. Not that bad. So even if you lose it, it's not the end of the world. You can always regain it in about 1.5 scalps afterwards. Nevertheless, this is a little frustrating price action if you're in any direction at the moment. If you're in any trade right now. What is going on? Okay, that's not what you want to see. You never want to see your trade reverse. That's what it's doing at the moment. You're still safe though, but man, you never want to see that happen. I'll probably come out break even if I could at this point. If I were in that trade. You would think it's a gift if you can get out break even at this point. Oof, he just got stopped out. There's a trap trade here, break a trend to new low. There's a trap trade beneath the 20 MA. Ends up working out nicely, but the trap did not happen in the right spot. You have the trend line, also 20 MA blocking you. Tough trade to take, but it is bouncing off the bottom of this trading range. We could be reversing here now. Could be possible. Wouldn't be surprised if this is our trading range for a while. Strong bull bar ending on its high. 2 bull bars above the 20 MA. That's a 2000 tick chart. Could be potentially always in long on the 2000 tick for a couple bars. trap trade maybe on the 10,000 tick. What do I mean by that? Ending that pull because you just got stopped out if you went short there. Most of you guys said it was 50-50, yeah, yes and no. And I think a lot of you guys started voting after the trade triggered, so it doesn't really count. But no, no one's jumping on. No, you should not be changing your contract. I could reload my historical. I already did it, but I can do it again. Maybe I'm a little off. Most likely you are off though. $10,000 tick chart is actually showing the range that I drew here manually with the blue box. The chart's frozen because I'm reloading my historical, but once it comes back, I'll show you my 10,000 tick chart and the trading range indicator marking beautifully this trading range at the moment. 10,000 tick chart. You can see here that the trading range is being marked out for us on a 10,000 tick chart. 2,000 tick chart is basically just that transposed onto the 2,000 tick. Trap trade may trigger on the 10,000 tick. I may take a chance to get a potentially big swing here on the 10,000 tick. I can see it happening, but who knows? I don't think this price action necessarily warrants everyone have a strong trend day today. It just seems more choppy than anything. Wow. Okay. Pushes down, pushes right back up. Overlapping bars. 4 overlapping bars in a row. Like almost completely overlapping. About tick off on each side, on each extreme, but pretty much overlapping entirely. What trades for me? I mean, this is part of futures trading. This is part of day trading. You look at just absolute choppiness and don't do anything. This is actually a majority of trading is this, pandas. As no one has told you yet, majority of trading is doing exactly this, which is nothing. That's the majority of trading, to be honest. It's just a sad reality. But the quicker you realize that, the quicker you save yourself from losing tons of money. Because a lot of people are eager, trigger happy, and they think that, you know, when it comes to trading, you should just trade all the time. If you're scalping, you should just be scalping everything. But if you do that, you could, you know, die from 1,000 paper cuts. Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
10,000
like
tick trap.
10,000 tick trap. Yeah, we continue to push up here. It's uncertain. We notice where we're coming back to this gravity area, which is the previous day's close. You can see with the dashed line here. There's an indicator native to NinjaTrader called prior OHLC and prior day OHLC, something like that. And it puts out for you the previous day's close or open, high, low, close. I only use the close, high, and open. I don't use, sorry, high, low, and close. I only use those. I don't use the open because I don't think it gives me that much. I think it just makes the charts a little messy. So choppy. What can I do here? Potential trap trade on 10,000 tick, but I don't know. This price action doesn't warrant strong trend day to me. Not at least right now. And if we're going to take this trap trade, I'm basically saying we're going to reverse this big time. Richard Harris, remember when we had openings? The good old days, which is like last year. There was a time when, honestly, when you could find like 2 or 3 setups within 2 hours. Now it's hard to find one like an entire day sometimes, to be honest. Especially when it's very choppy early on, it's just very hard to catch.
Five-minute trap.
Trap on the 5-minute chart, trap also 10,000 tick. I'm gonna set my pause on this one. I just don't know. This just doesn't exude to me strong trend day. At least not right now. The bars are too overlapping. Trap does trigger on a 10,000 tick chart. Trap triggers 10,000 tick beneath the 20 MA. It's a good looking setup. Let's just say that, right? It happens in a nice spot. Happens after a double top as well, which increases the chances. It's just that I don't like the fact that we're pretty much potentially also in a trading range marked by the trading range indicator. And now have to be going against that. Pandas, hope you guys are doing well. Anyone do anything interesting over the weekend? Something worth mentioning. How do you guys restore your mental capital over the weekend? A lower high setup on the 2,000 tick. Church, binge drinking. Sometimes those go hand in hand. Depends if you're a Baptist or Presbyterian. Metal detector on the beach dunes. That actually sounds fun. Maybe a little relaxing. What's your biggest find while doing that? Have you found anything of value? Anything valuable? HCal Jazz Fest. That's what I'm talking about. Dante Matthews, just keep going back to the communion line. I took my puppy to training. Interesting. Like martial arts training or what? What kind of training? Decent push down. It does feel like we're going to break out of this range, and maybe this trap might be very nice on the 10,000 tick. It's just too hard for me to tell. That trap trade, you can see with the magenta 3 here, that's a really nice trap on the 10,000 tick. It's enough to scalp out at least 2 points, which is decent for the risk you're taking. The risk is kind of small. If the risk was larger, you have to get more than 2 points there. But that risk was within my range of risk of any trade. 1, 2, 3, basically 3.25 point of risk. Richard Harris found a meteorite. Nice. Some kryptonite, hopefully. Defeat Superman if he goes evil. James Crow took the kids to Universal. Pretty fun. How much money they put into those buildings. Universal is amazing. I mean, when I say amazing, when I say Universal Studios, I mean Harry Potter Land or whatever it's called. Harry Potter World. They did not. They really went all out on that. They didn't spare one expense. Even for me, when I went as a panda, I thought it was amazing. Very, very fun. Very nice production. Really immersive, and also And also butterbeer. Yeah. Like the food is actually kind of decent. All right, we got a trap trade to the downside here. All sorts of temptations to go short here, but I don't know. I just don't know. How would they know? I don't like going short into the bottom of a trading range. I just can't do it. If we already broken this trading range and then we started having this pullback and I'm thinking to go short, then yeah. But while we're at the bottom, hitting our heads right into it, it's a really hard decision for me to go short. Just because of the fact that I've done it many times, and many times it has reversed and not completed the scalp because of the strong supports underneath and reverse. And every single time I say, why did I go short at the bottom of a trading range? I tell myself that every time. So to me, I just can't take it. Even though it does work out, I'm okay with missing this. It's just too confusing. And I think in the long run, that does help. That's better in the long run, let's say. Oh, did they make a Super Nintendo World? That's pretty cool. I think that would be really fun. Michelle says, I'm taking the kids in 2 weeks. Sure you are. Sure you're taking the kids. I don't need to take any kids there. I don't go by myself. I would enjoy that time. I thought the movie was great too. The thing is, it's like, in a sense, it's like better if the critic score is low at this day and age, because audience score was amazing. Like when I look for low critic scores now, and those are how I find good movies. The critic score for Super Mario was really low, and it could be for many reasons. I don't want to say which reasons, but at the end, I thought that movie was very good. It almost moved me to. It was very heartfelt. Let's just say. Very heartfelt. A lot of family themes. I thought it was very, very uplifting. Very nice. And I thought it was funny. You know, when you got Chris Pratt, and Jack Black in the same movie, I mean, you're gonna have some ridiculous moments. All right. Enough of this nonsense. Let's have clear direction here. Are we going to break out of this trading range, or are we going to bounce? What are we going to do here? I thought we were going to bounce. Are we retesting it second time? Okay, this doesn't exude to me strong trend day today, but who knows? Therefore, I'm not looking to really continue this trend here, especially if we've been kind of stuck here at the bottom of this trading range. Well, while we wait for this to do something, I might as well tell you guys a little bit about what's happening. I'm Buy by Money. Welcome to my channel. We trade here at one single setup using only one single chart, the two-legged pullback, and also we trade on the emini every single day at 9:15. Every single day we stream here, and you're watching the most verified profitable trader ever to exist on YouTube. There is no other trader verified and profitable. I'm showing you my account balance on the top left. You can see I am in profit. I am green and therefore profitable. So, pandas, with that being said, welcome to my channel. You're watching the most profitable trader ever to exist on YouTube, verified. And yeah, what do we trade? The two-legged pullback here. It's price action. Let me look for a pullback, a two-legged pullback that worked here. So we got one. A, B, C. This one worked. You know, I could try this one, A, B, C, but this one doesn't work. So I'm not gonna use that as an example. But this one does work. Two-legged pullback back to the 20 MA, and it's a scary one. I didn't take it, and it ends up being scary, and it almost stops you out 2 times. Micro triple top, lower high. Second entry short does work out, but it's a two-legged pullback. It's basically a move after you see a trend. Oh, let's go like this. You see a trend, two-legged pullback. Right, you got one push, one pullback, first entry we call that, second pullback, and we call this the second entry, and this is where we want to enter. That's our setup. We want to find this near key areas such as moving averages, trend lines, and this is what we have. We have this move down like this, two-legged pullback, two-legged pullback, one pullback, first entry, second pullback, and then continuation. All right, that's where we want to enter right here. Continuation of that downtrend. Might be a measure move at this point as well. Actually, it's good. Let me check the measure move here. Measure move hit almost to the T here at this point, the tick. And that's the setup we look for every single day. Why does this one work and this one doesn't? Well, a couple of reasons. If you have a trend line, just hit the bottom of the trend line or bottom of the channel, making an undershoot leading to an overshoot. And you also have a not touching the 20 MA. And also if you do touch the 20 MA here, you still have to worry about the undershoot to the overshoot, maybe getting back to the trend line, which is what happens here. And so that's why I skipped it. Why did I skip this one? Because I just didn't feel confident at all with the overlapping bars. And yeah, definitely didn't like the trap, but definitely it was scary to take the short because I thought we are gonna make a new high here. So that's why I skipped it. So I kind of have conflicting biases there. So hard to tell. A little too much noise, but we'll keep this. I think this is accurate. So you got a undershoot to an overshoot, which is a break of trend to new low, and now we're pushing up strongly off the bottom of this trading range. Strong bull bar ending on its high. Let's see if we get another push up here. Not only that, we have a proprietary setup that we call Big Mama, which is set up already up here with 10 contracts, and it is a setup that it was born here on this channel, and I've coined it Big Mama because to me that's what it's like. And yeah, if we get to it, I'll explain it. But hey, we gotta keep it in house. If this news goes out about Big Mama, you know, you don't want all the just the bandwagon people to jump on. Like you want the people who've been watching this stream and seen Big Mama develop before our eyes and seen me start talking about it little bit by little bit and realizing, I see this happen a lot. I think it's a good setup. And now at this point, I've created complete automated strategies that I feel like almost production ready, where that means I'm comfortable running it while I'm sleeping or while I'm away. I'm like comfortable running a strategy based on this setup and almost production ready for that. And I did back testing for a year on it, and the results are fascinating. They are surprising and they are amazing. I feel I want to be able to release them, but right now the video is just not ready. You know, I've done the back testing, but you know, it's a little bit sloppy because when you do years worth of back testing, you run into a couple of hiccups. But at the end, you know, so it's not like aesthetically pleasing because sometimes I have to like restart the strategy like halfway through the year, and therefore I lose like the P&L, and so I may have to break it into chunks anyways, and so I may just do each contract by itself and accumulate all of the you know, the profits, and you know, and also show you the stats. That's what I want to do. I want to give it a nice video to show you how Mike G says Big Mama should be members only exclusive, while Mike G is not even a member and offering that. What a kind soul to actually mention that. Maybe I will release it to members only until a little bit of time, until the members like start to take advantage of it, start to just benefit from it a little bit earlier than everyone else, and then sooner or later, once maybe the members, maybe I'll put a poll up, and you know I need like a certain amount of members there. I need like at least half the members to show up, and I need them to vote, and then we can release it. Something like that. I don't know, like a board meeting. I don't know. Maybe become a member. Hey, that's incentive to become a member. I'm holding this. I'm basically holding this automated strategy as hostage. Become a member, or else you never see this automated strategy ever. Taruto says, man, my motorcycle got stolen last week. Wish I could ride. I would say this for sure though. Those who are deluxe members have access to the Discord, will get access to the automated strategy. I've mentioned to my members on Discord, if you find an automated strategy that you think is successful and you post about it, then you must post the strategy. And so I'm working on it, and I'm gonna sooner or later post the strategy on the Discord, and anyone who has access to Discord will get access to it. And also that means that, hey, if you become a super panda for $20 a month, you can grab it and then leave if you want.
Tick trap.
That is your prerogative. Or maybe I'll put like maybe I'll license it, and then with the license make it free, but change the license every like year or something. Or I don't know, I could do something like that. Maybe do something like that. Well, I'll actually have a license, make it be free for anyone in there. Change the licensing a little bit every single time. Ooh. Turtles says, my motorcycle got stolen last Monday. Wish I could ride. Eesh. Mike G says, to be fair, I was a super panda, but then you're okay. Yeah. Hey. I'm sorry about that. But thanks for trying it out. We were just chopping around here. I got no setup here, so this is what I'm talking about. What's going on here? Well, regardless, welcome to my channel. I'm glad that you're here. And sometimes this is what happens. We just stare at this chart as it does much of nothing. And, you know, I try my best to analyze this, but you know, it's almost not worth my energies when I just see clearly that nothing is clear. When you can see clearly that nothing is clear,
5-minute trap.
That's when you step away. We are making lower highs and lower lows though, so our downtrend is still continuing here, even though we're at a support. If the downtrend continues, the downtrend continues. That's it. It's plain and simple. Strong bull bar ending on its high. No follow through. In fact, it reverses. Jesus would have distributed Big Mama to the masses for free. He already did. It's called salvation. That's the biggest mama you could ever get. That is for free. How do you get a motorcycle stolen? I understand maybe they can just like lift it up and put it into a truck, you know, with like three or four guys probably, but I guess you have to like hotwire it at the end. That's unfortunate. I hope hopefully insurance covers that. I know like you have to get insurance for motorcycles. Hugh says, did your backtest of Big Mama include any rules like only taking them after market open or only take one Big Mama a day? Yes, it does come with some rules, some very basic rules. You can always tweak it even more, but it does come with some basic rules, which I have mentioned during stream. Caliber's down 1,236 to down $27. I think I should stop. I don't want to tell you anything to do, but hey, you know yourself better than everyone, and if you feel like now you may be you know, your mental capital may be drained, I would say, hey, stop. It's hard to end the day red, let's just say that. I don't think I've ever fully can say like, oh yeah, I'm red, whatever. You know, I always have that little inkling of like, man, even though I'm $27 down, like I gotta take one more trade. I want to be green today, and that's a terrible feeling to have. It's a terrible motivation to have, terrible bias to have, terrible emotional baggage to have when doing when you're trading. You don't want anything to influence your trading other than this is a good setup, I want to take it.
10,000 tick trap.
Turtles, I live my life red day after day, each day at a time. What is this though? Lower high, second to short. Again, right into all the support. It's looking quite bearish now. It's looking quite bearish. Looks like it's dripping. Like about to bleed out here. I'm gonna adjust this trend line now to fit all this. Just confusing. Yeah, the potential trading range here, so hard to go short right into the bottom of it, but also can't go long, right? Like there's no temptation to go long unless you get like a strong push up, second entry short or second entry long, and then you're looking for another push up. Like unless you get set up like this right now off the support, it's nothing tempting for me to go long here. Nothing is tempting to go short either, because we're too close to a potential support. So I'm just sitting on my pause here. Hugh, I believe he's grabbing a playbook out of Fast and the Furious. I live my life one ES futures trade at a time. For those 30 seconds to 15 minutes, I'm free. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, decent strong bull bar. Are we gonna get a reversal here? I mean, it's hard to really think of anything other than breaking above this pivot high. Like if we break above this pivot high, we have potential to reverse here. The reason why I want this pivot high to finish or to be broken is because we can no longer say we're making lower highs. At this point, if we break this, and we're making a higher high. So that's why I want that to happen before I really go long. Potential H4 setup, 10,000 tick chart. 4 pushes down. Bottom of trading range potentially. 5-minute chart is just dripping. Now underneath the 20 MA, just keep going down. This might be easier to chart than any other chart right now. Just a nice channel pushing down. Hard to go long unless we break above the 20 EMA here and above this channel. I feel like people who are trading the 5-minute will not take a long trade unless we get 2 solid bull bars above the 20 EMA, and otherwise they're not going to think about going long. They might be thinking about going short here actually. Imagine again, if you're a always in short trader, right? If you're always in short, right, you're selling the close, so you got 2 bear bars in a row, and you sell here. If you sold here and you saw this happening, you sold even here, you sold even here, and you're coming out essentially break even on selling here, and now you keep selling. At some certain point in time, you're gonna stop selling and figure that maybe it's not always in short anymore, that we may be going to trading range. You gotta imagine if you're always in short, how would you feel if you kept selling at the close? How would you feel at this point? And where do you see the market reverse here? You see a micro double bottom. You see long traders trying to come in here. Long.
5-minute trap.
Oof. Wow. Second entry short. 5-minute chart. This is tough. This is tough to say. But notice we're back into our blue line here. Back into our blue line. Sorry, blue box. I keep saying blue line. Blue box here. 10,000 tick chart. Confusing. 5-minute chart. Choppy, but beneath the 20 MA. All in all, I have no idea what's happening. Kyle Lubers, if you really feel like the need to trade, like, I'm not sure if you have a eval account that could be reset, or an eval account that could be traded, but right now the evals resets are very cheap, or you could jump straight to sim. The nice thing about having Apex is that you don't even have to trade your accounts. You still have the data, so you can just trade sim, and that's the beauty about having Apex and free data. You get the data and license, so you can just trade your sim accounts and keep getting practice, and you can see potentially maybe what you could have made. And I think you know, if you want to get your reps in, then that's what you can do. But you know, some people just have the itch, they just want to keep trading. And of course I could say this, you know, very easily because I'm not in your situation, but that's like that's a practical thing about it. Pushing down again, amazing. Very confusing.
5-minute trap.
Ooh, second entry short triggers on the 5-minute chart. Could bleed here, could really bleed. Unfortunately, no setup for me still. Wow. Maybe I'll just go short. No idea. Very confusing. No idea. Sitting on my pause. No good setups for me yet. I don't like any of them. It does look like a downtrend. What can I say? But we've been hanging out here for so long. bull bar is having very little follow through. Each bull bar basically no follow through, virtually no follow through. I'm like tempted to go short here. Just on this bar. Just to go short on the bar. If it's a solid bear bar, I might just want to go short for follow through here. It's not a trade I typically take on this stream, but I feel okay going short right here. At the close of that bar, just sell. I'd feel okay. And that's why I don't do it, because it's reversing immediately. It's exactly why I don't do it. It does feel like it's going to go down, though. And this is why you don't listen to a panda that you see on YouTube. Hopefully no one listened to me. Frustrating day, huh? I have no idea. But strong bear bar like that, they're this move down, like, why not? Almost. Why not? Way too choppy now. Maybe a lower high setup. If I went short here, my stop loss would probably just be right here. Just trying to scalp out. Now it's 3 bars overlapping. You're still technically safe if you went short here. This is why this market is super tricky. Keeps going down, lower highs, lower lows, right? Even puts a double top here. And finally, when you enter in, it's going to reverse completely. It's just a scary place to be, and it's okay to admit if you're confused. I would have got stopped out there if I went short there. I'll just take my loss. If I like the trade still, I'll go in again. But your stop loss, 1, 2, basically 2 points stop loss. 2-point risk. Keep making lower highs and lower lows.
Five-minute trap.
No idea what's happening. Pandas, you can only take what the market gives you. I have Big Mama set up here just in case it does trigger, but I'm not sure if we're going to get to it, actually. And if we do get to it at this point, it might be a big trading range, so it might not be the best Big Mama to take. Okay, strong push up. Reversal now. Coming out the bottom of the trading range potentially here. Two strong bull bars closing above the 20 MA. Now we break that pivot high. Not a setup I can take. No setups here whatsoever. Maybe a second entry long. Maybe. Overall, not a pleasant day to trade. Not much going on here. Hopefully you guys are killing it. Let me ask you guys how you guys are doing. Also, by the way, today is the last day for resets. And for those who like passing their accounts with one trade with news, we do have big news on Wednesday. So if you have like a bunch of evals that are like busted, I would say reset them. Trade micros on them until Wednesday and then attempt to pass your evals. If that's your style. How'd you guys do today in this session? As you can tell, I'm flat. I'm glad. I'm joyfully flat here because there's nothing for me to trade here. We're waiting above the 20 MA on the 10,000 tick and 5-minute chart now. Kyle Luber's up 229 in the green for the day and turned everything off. Let's go, baby. Hey, congratulations. Ooh, turtle toes, careful. You may be going on tilt. Wow. Crazy. A lot of you, wow. 50% of you guys are flat today. Man, oh man. And 24% of you guys are less than zero. So it's like, you know, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because technically if you're flat, you're better than zero. And I mean, at the end, ultimately, the question is like, were there any good setups you took, or did you take bad setups? That's the real question you got to ask. Like, that's to get to the root of the problem. But also, I mean, a little bit of the root of the problem is maybe just cash management, risk management as well, and recognizing that sometimes it's okay to take zero trades because that's better than being red. Charles Lynn says, Panda, I'm struggling to understand this two-legged pullback. I can't seem to stop them. I'm confused about your statement. Like, you can't stop the two-legged pullback. You can't stop them from happening? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, stop and spot are very different words. But I see. That makes a lot more sense. There are videos that you can watch on my description, the playlist. Those are helpful. It's not as hard as you think, but you have to learn how to count legs. Counting legs is probably the fundamental part that people don't understand. While we wait for a setup, maybe a second entry long here of some sort, I'll just go over quickly how to count legs.
10,000 tick trap.
How to count legs. 101, counting legs. we're going to just start with this downwards movement, and we're just going to count it down because it's just what it is. The moment a candle breaks a previous candle's high, that has now become, right, we call it like an up leg or bull leg, up leg. Now the up leg has started. Now, once this up leg is started, it will continue to be an up leg unless a previous candle's low is broken right here, even by one tick. So we break the previous candle's low. Now we're in a down leg. And that's how you count legs. You have to first understand when the legs reverse. So you have an up leg. When the up leg reverses, turns to a down leg. And the down leg reverses when you break the previous candle's low by one tick, even by one tick. Then you break the previous candle's high by one tick. Now the up leg has started. So once you get that concept, you can find that when you have these reversals, that means that when that happens twice, you have two up legs, right, where there's no pivot that breaks the previous, like the first leg's pivot low. And by the way, every time the legs reverse, that's what we call a pivot. So this is a pivot, this is a pivot, this is a pivot. So every time those legs reverse, that's what we call pivots. And so if you have an up leg and you don't break the pivot of the leg from the first leg, then you have two legs up. And that's what we call a two-legged pullback. I'm not sure that might make things more confusing, but that's essentially the fundamentals. You got to understand that first. Pivot, pivot, pivot. Is that with like the couch or something? Moving the couch? We may potentially have a fail second entry short here I'm interested in. But it's so choppy. But I'm willing to wait a little bit here for this. Like some sort of semblance of trading in this channel, since we are trading on this channel. Come on. Okay, now by the time the second entry short does trigger, the trap may not be so good. We do have a nice strong bull bar, looks like finishing on the 5 minute above the 20 MA, and that could lead us to a reversal here. We have been in this blue box for a very long time, and we may bounce it back to the top of the blue box. That could easily happen. Strong bull bar on the 5 minute chart above the 20 MA. We need follow through. You need follow through if you're going to go always in long. You need to wait for that. Could be a double top here. Downtrend can continue. Wouldn't be surprised either way. For the content, I may go long here on this failed second entry short. Also, strong bull bar on the 5 minute chart above the 20 MA. We might not even get the setup though. Come on. Come on, give us a fail second entry short. Let's see if we get this. Fails against a short. It's right at resistance, unfortunately. Ah. Got nothing. Wow. Oh, man. I might as well just trade a 5-minute chart because these candles are just taking forever to form. Doesn't trigger the second inch short here. Curious to see if it will trigger. We're right at the previous day's close, which can act as resistance at this point. The reason being is because we're coming from below it now. GC Burke, yeah. How often do you feel you need to take a nap by staring at this market? Okay, we got a failed second entry short here, potentially. So far away from 20 MA, I need a little bit stronger pullback back to the 20 MA. At least kind of close to it before taking it. Man. That is not strong enough. Like, I need to get closer to 20 MA. It's too far away from 20 MA to take this fail second short. I'm going to just watch this, see what happens, and then I'll end the stream. But I want to see what happens here. I'm curious. Two bull bars on the 5-minute chart might be always in long on the 5-minute chart. That might be enough reason for me to take it. To trigger it. Okay, now it's getting choppy. Curious here. It's tough. I just wish it was closer to 20 MA. It's ugly. I wish it happened around this area, which would make more sense for me to take, but it's this far away from 20 MA. I can't take it. I'm curious to see what happens here. Do we even trigger it? I don't know. Ah, we do trigger it. Reverses immediately though, but let's see. Let's watch. I'll be happier with a retracement here of some sort. Ah, wow. I'm not even in this trade and I'm getting tortured here. Okay. Oof. Thoughts and prayers to those who went long here. I told you my reasons why I couldn't take it. I'm glad I'm not in it. This might work out still, but I'm glad I'm not in it because I'll be disappointed at this point. Wowzers. Yeah, this is too painful. I'm gonna have to put a cap on this at 11 just because this is it's torture. It's torturous. I'm gonna keep my big mama here though. See if it triggers off stream. Like I mentioned, this doesn't exude strong trend. Okay, pushes back up. So if you're in this trade, you're feeling better now about it. You can come at break even as well if you want. But notice your risk is 2 points. It's a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. Small risk here. Just choppy. Probability is about 50-50 at this point, I think. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7 overlapping bars in a row. What is this? I can't even. Can't even. You guys see what I'm seeing? Are you guys seeing the same thing? Like I'm legitimately about to fall asleep. If you're in this trade, like if you're in this long, you have to already wait for 4 bars. At this point, I'm trying to come out break even because we broke the previous candle's low, reversing this trade, and probably come out break even at this point. If I can. Be a gift from the gods. We're able to. My stop loss is 1 tick underneath this bar. You're still safe, but you're sweating. Really sweating here. And you just got stopped out, unfortunately. Terrible price action right now. Terrible. All right, pandas, with that being said, I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Hopefully the price action will be a little bit better tomorrow. I'll see you guys 9:15 for the mainstream, 9 o'clock for the pre-market show. And I hope to see you guys there. Remember, today's the last day for the 50% off resets. Take advantage of it while it lasts. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Trade safe, everybody. As always, happy trading. God bless. Bye.